Welcome back to The Price of Business. I'm your host, Kevin Price, talking to you about you and your business. Delighted to have on again, and I just had one spokesperson on from Heritage talking about government spending gone awry. I have another gentleman, Bob Moffit. He's also with Heritage. We're going to talk a little bit about the fact that Congress now wants to exempt itself from Obamacare. Yeah, we want to stuff this thing down the throats of the American people, but we're smart enough to know we don't want ourselves subject to it. Incredible. And so there's talk about this. Bob, welcome to the program.
Oh, I'm happy to be with you, Kevin.
Yeah, you just got to love these guys, such high integrity people. So tell us, first of all, I'm assuming this is the Democrats, the ones who actually got this reform through, that are beating the drum of trying to exempt themselves, more so than the Republicans, I would hope.
Well, let me put it this way. I mean, the Politico story, which broke last week, said that it was the congressional leadership, House and Senate, who were in discussions for months over this issue of how to solve the problems that are created by the Obamacare, the Affordable Care Act, which will require all of them to enroll in the health insurance exchanges beginning on October 1st of this year, 2013, like millions of Americans. And the exchanges are supposed to be up and running in every state in the union on January 1st, 2014. So the point is that this actually creates a lot of problems for members of Congress. And so they've been in negotiations for months on this, according to the Politico article. And Politico, I mean, it's not a conservative journal. It's not it's more liberal.
It's much more liberal.
Yeah, much more liberal. And so, the question is, what is actually going on here? The Washington Post columnist, Ezra Klein, said, well, they're just trying to fix a minor glitch. It's not an exemption. They're not really seeking an exemption. My view is, the truth is, they just simply got caught.
Yeah. Who said that they were trying to fix a glitch?
Who said they were trying to fix a glitch? Ezra Klein,
Congress.
The Washington Post columnist.
The Post columnist, yeah.
Right.
And so that's interesting. So if they're saying leadership, that means it's, more than just Pelosi, obviously.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And I wonder if it's got as high up as Boehner, but Boehner said someone from the House Republican Conference to represent the leadership.
Boehner quickly and forcefully denied seeking an exemption. So did Senate Majority Harry Reid. Apparently, Congressman Hoyer of Maryland was involved in these discussions. But the truth of the matter is that everybody's running around saying, well, there's really nothing much to it. My view is the view of Detective Columbo, which is, I know you're very busy, sir, but I'd like to ask you a few more questions.
Right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, the classic line that usually got to the bottom of things.
That's right. Yeah. Now, this is a real mess. I mean, the real story here, it's very simple. Members of Congress and congressional staff are being taken out of the coverage that they have today. You remember the president said that if you like your health plan, if you like your coverage, you can keep it no matter what, period. None of that is true, in fact, for millions of Americans, because of the incentives that are hardwired into the law that will take effect for most of us on January 1st, 2014. But in the case of Congress, it's pretty explicit. They are out of the Federal Employee Health Benefits Program, which is a system of private competing health plans, which has got a terrific track record of providing very good benefits at competitive prices.
Yeah, I was an aide to a U.S. senator. I loved my health
care. Well, you were in it.
Yeah, so I remember that. That's even back in the 80s, and it was primo back then. I could only assume it's probably improved over time.
Oh, yeah. Well, the benefits, unlike Medicare, for example, the benefits in FEHB continue to grow, but the cost control historically has been very successful. But what's happened is that, the effect of all this means that members of Congress and congressional staffers are going to pay higher health care costs for themselves and their families. And that's because the whole system is different in the exchanges than exists today in the FEHB. It's an entirely different subsidy system. So as a result, they're going to lose not only the employer-based coverage that they have today, they're going to lose the employer subsidy, and they also, if they're above a certain income level, and they have to buy health insurance outside of the place of employment, which is in the exchange, they don't get the very generous tax breaks that we all get through employer-based health insurance coverage. So this is the same problem, as you know. This is exactly the same problem that faces every American who gets employment-based health insurance. Businesses are worried about that. They're faced with the same anxieties. Whether they will be able to, they're all worried about paying higher health care premiums, and all the independent analysts expect health insurance premiums to rise very sharply, particularly for younger workers and their families. That's the first fear. The second fear is the impact on employment. They're concerned that they will not be able to retain good people under these circumstances, but that's precisely what businesses are faced with right now. Will they be able to hire? Will they be able to retain valued employees? Will they have to reduce full-time workers to part-time workers because of the impact of the Obamacare mandates and the fines and penalties if you don't provide the officially required level of coverage? So they're now in the same mess that the rest of us are in, and they're desperately trying to get out of it.
And it's kind of humorous when you think about it, because they're concerned about their financial viability, which is dependent entirely on the financial viability of all the businesses that have been pounded by Obamacare. It's kind of humorous, isn't it?
Yeah, it's ironic, and yes, it's exactly true.
Yeah, that's kind of interesting. And so, what do you think? What do you think is going to happen? Do you see this? Do you think they're going to come up with some kind of exemption and call us something else? Kind of like we got these fees that took place that were clearly unconstitutional, but a Supreme Court justice decided to define it as constitutional.
Well,
tell me about that.
I think what will happen, first of all, the fact that Politico blew this story means that I think that they are under tremendous pressure. I don't know what they're going to be able to do, because if they try anything like a technical amendment or some kind of a backroom deal, that is the kind of backroom deals that brought this law into effect in the first place, they've already, I'm talking about particularly liberal Democrats, they have set a record for arrogance and contempt for popular opinion, really. It's hard to beat that. If they go further than that, I think they're going to get hammered. They've already created the Politico revelation, I think, has sort of really put them under the looking glass. Now, the other option is that they'll try to get from the Obama administration some kind of regulatory fix. In other words, the law is very vague in a lot of areas, and this is the Ezra Klein position, which is that in the Ezra Klein School of
Hey, Bob, I need to tighten it up right now. I'm running out of clock, so if you can bring it to a closure.
They'll try to get OPM, the Office of Personnel Management, to make a regulatory fix to try to get them out of it. I don't know if that's going to work. OPM does not have authority over the exchanges. Yeah,
P.J. O'Rourke called them a parliament of whores. That reputation continues. Bob Moffit, he's with the Heritage Foundation, one of the country's premier think tanks, a leader in conservative thought and public policy alternatives. Check him out at heritage.org and also at thefoundry.org. Thanks, Bob.
All right, sir. Have a great day.
You too. When we come back, we're going to have more for you. Do want to remind you the show continues 24/7 at priceofbusiness.com.